I am so tired. Today we're gonna be taking a tour of my website, janeconquest.com, which I have been working so hard on. And on my website, I've set it up so that you can read all of my books for free, and also that was a drum roll. Jane Conquest Backup 2.0. That's right, all of the JCB books are coming back. So first I'm gonna take you through everything that I've got set up, and then at the end of the video, I'll explain how everything works. And let's start with the homepage. So at the top are a few quick windows to my Instagram and Twitter, but then if you scroll down, I've got this little section where I'll be posting updates. Right now I have a giant list of all of my books that you can read, so that's the easiest way to start reading. And then if we go back up to the top, there are these pages. First one is About Jane. If you're new here or you don't know me very well, you can read up about my writing journey. And the next tab is Contact. So here we've got a list of all my social media and stuff, and then this section right here is where you can email me directly. So if you want to be a sponsor, or even if you just have any questions for me or stuff like that, feel free to talk to me. I've already gotten the sweetest messages. A lot of people have been using that to ask me when my books will be back, and guess what? They're back. So the next tab is Published Novels. Obviously, I only have one book published to Amazon. It's my book, See Her, but very soon I'll have a second one up. Yay! It's called Why Cliches. Most of you guys remember it as Wattpad Cliches, and it's gonna be so funny. I'll be sure to make a video when that's finished, but for now, you could buy a hard copy of See Her on Amazon. I just happen to have one right here. Oh wow. But you can also now buy it on Kindle if you prefer to read an ebook. But look here! You can also read a free 5-chapter teaser right here on janeconquest.com. Let's take a peek. Oh, how beautiful. Oh, wonderful. Absolutely incredible. So at the top is the chapter title and then the next chapter, and if we go to that, we've got the previous chapter as well. For the book, I actually put photos into a slideshow so that people can't copy the text. So if you click the arrows, it's basically like paging through an ebook. I think it looks best on a computer. It does look kind of weird on a phone, but you can always zoom in and adjust and whatever. So at the bottom, you can see how many views each chapter has, and then you can even like and comment. As you see here, I'm going to leave a comment on this chapter. So y'all may remember me desperately trying to figure out how to set up a table of contents. I tweeted about it and I asked about it in the beginning of my last video. She was getting a bit desperate. And that was the one thing I was really struggling with setting up, but I finally figured out. I just put the table of contents on a separate page instead of at the bottom of each chapter. Because if I put the table of contents on each chapter, every time I'd add a new chapter, I'd have to go through all of the previous chapters and add the new chapter to all of the table of contents on every page. But this way, I just put the link to the table of contents, so then you can just click on that and you can go to the page. The next tab at the top is Donate. Please consider donating if you can. Everything on my site is free, and I'm actually going to college in August, so only if you want to. I've got a few methods of donating here, and if you donate on Patreon, you get some pretty cool perks. Anyway, back to the site. Under the More tab are these 5 pages. The first one is Free Completed Novels and Novellas. So these are all actually finished. So I've completed 5 books, but there are only 4 of them on here because Why Cliches is in the process of being published. But after Why Cliches is on Amazon, I'll add a teaser to the site under this section. And See Her is also there because it links to the 5-chapter teaser, which is free. So next we have XO. XO is my longest book I've ever written, and probably my favorite except for Why Cliches. This boy has 72 chapters. Just a disclaimer, it is really violent, but there's a little synopsis underneath all of the books. You can read those and see if anything sounds interesting to you. Next is Complex. Complex is good. It's about a girl who moves to California and meets a bunch of internet stars and stuff. And then there's 2, which I wrote when I was 15, and it's super dark and depressing and edgy. So let's go back up here and click the free incomplete books. All of the books here are not finished, but the fact that I posted them does mean that they will be completed eventually. And here's something fun. You can actually sign up to receive an email whenever I post a new chapter. So this is what the email will look like. It'll have a link to the new chapter, and at the bottom, if you ever want to stop receiving emails for a book, all you have to do is unsubscribe. So the first book here is OCD, and I put it at the top because that's everyone's favorite. Here's the synopsis for OCD, and then here's Apollo. I love Apollo. It's probably the closest on this page to being actually finished, and it's really good. So check that out if you like Greek mythology type of stories. stories. And then we have Trial, which is another really great one. It's probably gonna end up being as long as XO, maybe even longer, but right now it's only at about 30 chapters only. I am amazing. Oh my god, then we have Louisa. I never posted Louisa to Wattpad. I don't remember why. I was probably too busy. So you guys have never seen it before, and I'm super excited about it because I cannot tell you how many times I have tried to write a murder mystery. And Apollo does actually have a little murder mystery in it, but Louisa looks like it's gonna be the one where I finally crack writing a proper murder mystery. So go check that one out. Then we have poetry. I don't really write poetry often, but I have a really cute little style, and I don't know, some of you guys like it, so it's there if you want to read. A collection of short stories is a book of all my mini stories. I think I have about 20 of them. Some of them are really short, some of them are longer. I don't know. There's that. Then we have March, which actually brings me to my next tab up here. It's called comics/graphic novels. So the March on the previous page is the book version of the comic on here, but I won't be working on the book versions until after I finish my comics. March is the first book of a trilogy called the Blue Daisy trilogy, and after I finish all 3 comics, I'll do the book versions. However, some of you may remember that I actually started illustrating Trial like a graphic novel, and I posted that to Wattpad. I didn't upload it to janeconquest.com because I want to redraw it. It's been a while since I first drew it, and I'm focusing on the Blue Daisy trilogy, but hopefully one day all of my books will have illustrated versions as well. So there's a link where you can also read March on Webtoon, which is this cute little site. And next, Bones is the second in the BD trilogy, and it's almost 700 pages if you want a long read. I put this giant disclaimer on every chapter because it will be redrawn and things will change a lot. I'm almost done redrawing March, and so many things have changed. It's almost completely different from the first draft. Like in the early version, this one character who is another character's love interest, he actually ends up being her brother in the redrawn version. Yeah, I pulled a Star Wars with that one, but it fits better with the story, so that's why I put a disclaimer on every single chapter of Bones to really make it clear that the redraws will change a lot of things. Anyway. You guys have been waiting since last July, and it's finally here. This is Jane Conquest Backup 2.0, and for those of you who weren't around for JCB on Wattpad, it's basically this giant hub for all of my fun books, like quotes, zodiac signs. These 2 books are just pictures of my cats, so clearly they aren't my novels, but I'm so excited to finally have this part of my life back after almost a year. One thing is that I'm not going to be working on this too much until after I publish White Cliches, but after I put White Cliches on Amazon, I'll put more books back up here, and I'll figure out an updating schedule. Most of you remember that I used to post 1 or 2 chapters a day to whichever books were in season. You can check out my All About My Wattpad video for more info on that, but because it's not as automatic now, I'll probably be posting a chapter of 4 posts a week to each book or something like that. Like I said, I'll figure it out more once I finish White Cliches. The last tab is called Milestones. It's just me bragging. So now I'm going to talk to you about how all of this works. Some of you may be confused as to why it's taken me so long to get everything back up and running, but let me tell you, I have not just been sitting around. Figuring out each little aspect of this has been surprisingly complicated, and so now I'll explain the process it takes just to post 1 single update. So this is for my book OCD. I recorded this while I was still uploading it. So first, what I do is I go through and I put all of the chapters into a folder. I've got this folder, janeconquest.com. I'll click it, then click on OCD. Now I'll go to OCD in Word, highlight and copy the chapter. Then I put it into a new document, change the size to be big so it's easier to read. Then I change the page size and do a quick scroll to make sure everything looks good. Then I'll save this as the chapter name, then the book, and then Word. After I save it as a Word document, I'll hit Save As again and save it as a PDF. After I save it as a PDF, I go onto this website called pdf2jpeg.net. I love this site because for every 50,000 PDFs converted, they'll plant a tree. Also, they're so cute. I see you're using ad blocker. That's fine. I do this too. Oh. So then I stick the PDF into this and it'll convert it to the pages. I download each page, go back to the folder in OCD and add the Word, PDF, and all the pages. Now we have our chapter ready. So we'll go to the site, and what I do first is I copy the last chapter, then I move it up to the right place, and then I have to go into the settings and rename the chapter and then the page, and then I go down here and I edit the link, changing it to the new chapter's name and deleting the automatically generated numbers at the end. Next, I go and change the title of the chapter to the new one, and then I have to change the previous chapter's name, and then I have to change the previous chapter's link. Then I change the next chapter's name and the next chapter's link, which obviously won't work until I make the new page, but then we go down here to the view count. I use this website, so I have to go and get a new view counter every time I add a new chapter, and then I have to edit the like button and change the name to the new chapter so it knows to make a new button for the new chapter. After that, I just take out all the old pages and add the new ones, and finally go into email, copy the template that I have, change all the info, and send out the notification to let everyone know there's a new chapter. I've already made the table of contents for this book, but in the future, I'll also have to add the new chapter to the table of contents. That whole process takes about 10 or 15 minutes. Obviously, when I'm just posting memes or whatever, it'll be shorter, but it still clearly takes longer than when I would just post stuff to Wattpad. So I'm gonna have to experiment with updating times and figure out what works best for me. And during school, I may have to adjust it so that I can balance it with my schoolwork. And like I've said many times before, I'm doing all of this by myself, so please go easy on me. If you notice something isn't working, like maybe the pages are out of order or a link isn't working, just let me know and understand that I'm doing my best and I will fix it if something's wrong. I do go through each book and make sure all of the next buttons work, so I at least know that you can go through each book normally, but I don't really check the previous pages or the table of contents or the actual pages, so if something doesn't work, just tell me. But overall, I'm so excited. So like I said, go to the homepage and scroll down for quick links to each book. This list will stay up until I publish Why Clichés, but by then I'm sure you'll be used to how everything works. And get excited for Why Clichés. It's gonna be amazing. I have so many ideas. I may be setting up merch, just lots of great stuff. And if you have any ideas for stuff for me to add to my site, be sure to leave me a comment, or you can contact me through the site. And I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Go check out my website and all my books, janeconquest.com, boy. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos and leave me a comment. And I love you guys. Bye.